Can I buy a home with it then?
Oh, you can use a reverse mortgage to buy a home, yes. Yeah.
All right, so...
It's going to depend on how much they're going to give you based on your age, because remember the qualifications are...
Well, welcome to the fun and mentals of real estate. We're here to talk about...
reverse mortgages.
Oh my gosh, why would I ever want one, Glenn?
Yeah, that's a great question. You know, it's not for everybody. We talked about that before, but I think the bottom line comes into, I want to stay in my house, and probably I'm struggling a little bit with my budget and trying to stay on top of things. Mm-hmm. That's probably the number one reason, although we're going to talk in a little bit about an investment vehicle and a vehicle for passing on my wealth. But the main reason we get are people that they love the house, they love the neighborhood, it's close to church, it's close to family, I can get to the grocery store, I'm familiar with it, I'm comfortable with it, I want to stay here, but I'm struggling a little bit.
I'm struggling.
So I can eliminate my monthly payment. Mm-hmm. I can probably access some of that equity and get an income or a safety net.
Right, so let's just say your house rich, cash poor. That's another reason why people do it. This is what you're alluding to now. It's like, you know, I have Social Security, maybe I have a pension, maybe I don't, but boy, the cost of living is just really... Didn't you have somebody just recently that you maybe helped? Or
most of the ones, that's the case, you know, and then they're not desperate, but we say the cost of living doubles about every 20 years.
Right.
And I'm retired, and although there's tiny blips in Social Security, for the most part, I'm on a fixed income. Mm-hmm. But the beauty of it, especially over the last 4 or 5 years, we've just seen the equity in houses just explode. So many factors, the low inventory, all that's come into play, but the price of house have gone up astronomical.
So I can either, let's just say I'm debt-free on my house, so if I have a mortgage, I can eliminate it, but if I'm debt-free, I can actually get an income. So you have choices on how you take the reverse mortgage. Exactly. It's not just one lump sum, although I could do sort of like a lump sum in the first year or two.
I had a reverse couple that came in. They did a combination. They were able to retire that debt, no mortgage payment, and they were also able to access part of the equity and get a monthly income. Monthly income.
So it can literally be a monthly income because you're house rich, cash poor.
Yes.
All right.
That's one reason. You know, another reason we just purely, I don't want to tap into my investments. My investments are doing my 401k, my IRA, the money I set aside is doing so well and it's growing. I don't really want to use that. And I've got this equity in my house that I want to use.
Right.
Yeah.
And so again, another stream of income.
Yes, right.
That's basically what
without
you're saying.
Depleting the other one.
Without depleting the other one. So that's another reason.
That's why we say financial planners love the reverse mortgages, because it lets them manage your assets and lets you live off the equity in your home.
How about that? Yeah. All right, let's. Another reason is people have some really high debt, like medical costs, that were unexpected.
Yes.
And they need to pay them off, don't know where else to turn. Again, don't want to move.
And they don't want to have a payment, so they could look into a home equity loan, but when you take out a home equity loan, you have to pay it back, and there's going to be a payment associated. This, you don't pay it back.
Right, so when you're, you know, if you have parents that are getting to be that age and the population is aging, or you yourself are, you look into these because you could downsize, but even in downsizing, due to the cost of real estate today, if you wanted to move to an area that was kind of expensive, or maybe near your kids or your grandkids, and that was kind of pricey, and you were able to sell your home and have some equity out of it, maybe $300,000-$400,000, but you're like, I can't go anywhere near my kids or wherever it is I want to go that I can afford. I can't buy something for $300,000-$400,000 I'm going to like. So can I buy a home with it then?
Oh, you can use a reverse mortgage to buy a home, yes. Yeah.
All right, so...
it's going to depend on how much they're going to give you based on your age, because remember the qualifications are...
62 or
62 or older, and the equity. So when I'm buying that house on the reverse mortgage, what I'm doing is I'm going to, instead of paying cash, I'm going to put down a majority of cash, but then the rest I'm going to put as a reverse mortgage.
So you can actually buy a house... with a reverse mortgage and have no payment.
Right.
Still got to pay taxes.
Insurance, right? Which
and
you would
your
anyway.
Insurance.
Which even if you paid cash, you're going to pay that also.
Yeah, you have that anyway. You always have that overhead.
Right.
So
another reason why I might want a reverse mortgage, remember, there are no restrictions on the money. So the money that you get...
Wait a minute, so I could go buy the boat?
You could. I wouldn't recommend it, but you could buy the boat. You could take it and give it away. But let's just say there's some deferred maintenance on your house. maybe you've got some work that needs to be done.
Oh yeah, so insurance didn't cover my roof.
Right.
My flooring is threadbare by now, and I need to because flooring is expensive. So I replace the flooring in my entire house. It's 30 to 40 to 50 grand, depending on how big your house is, right? Like it's a lot of money just to replace the floors, furnace and air conditioners. They can be anywhere from 15 to 50 grand, depending on what you're picking, right? And what part of the country you live in. And so deferred maintenance could be an issue. And I've seen single ladies almost literally watch these houses fall down around them.
It's tough, and
because
I think
they can't access the cash in their house.
Right, and we've seen it where one of the spouses died. The husband, who usually goes before the wife, has passed away. We've got this equity in the house. We've got some maintenance that needs to be done. It's a great way to access the difference in the home equity is there's no payment.
All right, super good. So you're saying could I set up a reverse mortgage as a safety net and not really take any money out right away?
Definitely, yeah, definitely. And not only a safety net, but maybe as an inheritance vehicle. I know a story of a gentleman that took out the reverse mortgage, and it's important to know that when you don't use that money, it grows. It grows because the equity in your house is growing, and it grows because you're getting older.
And the older you get, the more they're willing to lend you.
Right. Now, the more access. So if you don't take any of that money, you don't have to pay it back. So if you didn't take it out and your heirs inherit that, sell it. But you could, at the end of your life, near the end, access all that money and give it away.
Disperse it as you would like.
Yes.
How interesting is that?
Yeah.
All right. So, if I can buy a house on a reverse mortgage, I can refinance a house on a reverse mortgage, or I can just get a loan even if my house is paid off. But I don't have to have my house paid off to get a reverse mortgage.
You do not have to have the house paid off. And it's not always you don't have to think of this that I'm in dire straits, although it can be used for the person that's really struggling. It could also be that I'm in pretty good shape, but I've got all this equity and I want to use it. I want to access to that money. I want to take that money and I want to invest it. Or I want to take that money and we talked about all this stuff, fixing up my house, paying off medical bills.
My mom actually got a reverse mortgage. This was years ago. She's in heaven now. God rest her saintly soul. But at the time, she still had a mortgage payment.
Right.
She was getting ready to retire. I think she might even have been retired at this point. So that's what precipitated looking into the reverses. She retired. She still had a mortgage payment. She had built this home just 5-7 years earlier. Really, really, really did not want to move. We looked around a little bit, and I realized this moving thing, getting close to 80, was not going to happen. So she was not going to be able to stay in the house if we didn't get rid of this mortgage payment. So we went and talked with the loan officer and really looked into it. And I know there's a lot of education. I think
one thing I love about it, you have to take a course, right? And just the material that Guild provides and the level of expertise we have in the loan officers that do these type of loans, you're going to really learn all about it, and you're going to make sure that it's right for you. You're going to make sure of all the fees. It's nothing that you're not going to get somebody pushing this on you.
Right. And the bank's really not there to take your home or to set you up to fail. Right. They're really not. It's a government-backed loan, and the government backs it so that retirees can stay in their home and not be forced out.
The main thing that they would be concerned about would be making sure that you can pay the property taxes and the insurance.
Your insurance and your property taxes, which the reverse mortgage can help you do.
Of course.
But she was able to get rid of her mortgage payment and get a big lump sum and stay in the home until such time that we had to move her, just due to health. But it was a great option for her, and really, I didn't see another option because, again, she really did not want to move.
It gave her some peace of mind, and it allowed her to stay in that house for another, 5-6 years?
Oh, yeah. She stayed in it probably, 5 years or so. And, we thought, she might beat the bank there and stay in it to her a long, long time, but she ended up, and they know this. They have charts and actuaries to figure all this stuff out. Right. And, the reason the bank does it is that they do figure out, they're trying not to eat all your equity up, right?
They can analyze the whole
And so
All
they
the
don't
laws,
want
right.
you to owe more than the house is
No.
worth.
That's
Right?
they
And they're
lose.
Yeah,
Right.
they lose during that. But the government backs it in case you do owe more than it's worth. The government will give the bank some money, right? They
Yes.
get just like you put less than 20% down and you don't make your payments.
Exactly.
Then the
There's
bank
mortgage insurance on a reverse mortgage,
mortgage
just like there
insurance.
is on a
And it's
conventional loan.
government. Then the
Right.
government is the one who provides the mortgage insurance.
Yep.
Because no private company is going to do that.
Exactly.
So this is something that is the government has done in order to help retirees.
Yeah.
So don't just poo-poo it right off the top. If you have a lot of myths and you really think, check out our myth busting podcast
That was a good one.
that we
And,
had
if
last
you want to
week.
request information
Right,
from
we're
me,
going to talk about the nuts and bolts of it next week.
Right.
And give Glenn a call and just explore, because you have options on lump sums, combination of lump sum and a monthly payment,
adjustable, all
right?
kinds of stuff,
Like
yeah.
a monthly income.
And it's
or
not.
don't take anything and just use it as a safety net.
And we can say, this is what we think the house is. We're going to get an appraisal, so we're going to know. We think the house is worth this. This is what your age is.
Right.
These are your options. That's
Right.
quick. Then we can get the credit report, which we do look at the credit, and the only thing the credit will sell us if we need to set aside some of the equity to pay the taxes and insurance.
Right. If you have
Then-
super good credit, then
No,
they
they
just
don't
like,
worry
you're
about it.
okay, you're
Right.
probably going to pay your taxes and
And then we
insurance.
also look at if you have any other reserves, stuff like that. There's a couple different factors. Then the other thing, the next step, we're going to get that appraisal, and then you're going to take a class. So before you've ever made a decision, before
Right.
you've committed, the lender has really educated you. No pressure.
No pressure.
Yes.
Right.
And let you know whether or not this is
Fantastic.
right for you or not.
Right. So, these are reasons you might want to reverse mortgage.
Maybe,
Thanks
yeah.
for listening today. Give us a like or a share if you like the podcast. Listen next week when we do the nuts and bolts. I'm your host here, Angela Dillmon at Keller Williams Realty Chesterfield, and this is my wealth building partner.
Glenn Calvin at Guild Mortgage.
Okay, we are here to help you build wealth
Live your dream lifestyle.
and leave legacies that matter. We'll see you next week.